Book of Leviticus. Section of the Torah 24. And it was when Moshe had completed to erect the tabernacle that Moshe reasoned and judged in his heart and said to Mount Sinai, whose excellency is the excellence only of an hour and its holiness the holiness but of 3 days. I could not ascend till the time that the word was spoken to me, but the excellence of this the tabernacle of ordinance is an eternal excellency, and its holiness an everlasting holiness. Therefore is it right that I should not enter within it until the time that I am spoken with from before the Lord. Then did the word 1 of the Lord call unto Moshe, and the word 2 of the Lord spake with him from the tabernacle of ordinance, saying, Jerusalem Targum. And it was when Moshe had completed to erect the tabernacle to anoint it, and sanctify it, and all its vessels, that Moshe reasoned in his heart, and said, within Mount Sinai, whose majesty was the majesty of an hour, and its holiness the holiness of an hour, I might not ascend till the time which was bidden me from before the Lord, nor into the tabernacle of ordinance, whose majesty is an eternal majesty, and its holiness an everlasting holiness. Is it right for me to enter till the time that I am bidden from before the Lord? And the word of the Lord called to Moshe, for the word of the Lord was altogether with him, for the tabernacle of ordinance, saying, Speak with the sons of Israel, and say to them, If a man of you, but not of the rebellious worshippers of idols, bring an oblation before the Lord, it must be for the clean cattle, for the oxen, or from the sheep, but not from the wild beasts may you offer your oblations. If his oblation be a burnt offering of oxen, he shall bring a male unblemished to the door of the tabernacle of ordinance, and offer him to be accepted for himself before the Lord. And he shall lay his right hand with firmness upon the head of the sacrifice, that it may be acceptable from him to propitiate on his behalf. And the slayer shall kill the ox at the place of slaughter before the Lord. And the sons of Aaron the priest shall bring the blood in vessels, and sprinkle the blood which is in the basins round about the altar that is at the door of the tabernacle of ordinance. And he shall take away the skin from the sacrifice, and divide him according to his members. Jerusalem. And he shall skin the holocaust, and divide him by his members. And the sons of Aaron the priest shall put fire upon the altar, and lay wood in order upon the fire, and the priests the sons of Aaron shall lay the members in order, and the heart and the covering of the fat upon the wood that is on the fire upon the altar. And he shall wash the inwards and his legs with water, and the priest shall offer the whole upon the altar of burnt offering and oblation to be accepted with grace before the Lord. Jerusalem. And he shall wash, and if his oblation be of the flock, whether of the lambs or of the young goats, he shall bring a male unblemished. And the slayer shall kill it at the foot of the altar on the north side, before the Lord, and the priests the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle the blood that is in the basins upon the altar round about. And he shall divide it by its members, its bead and its body, and the priest shall set them in order on the wood which is upon the fire on the altar. And the inwards and his legs he shall wash with water, and the priest shall offer the whole and burn it at the altar of burnt sacrifice. It is an offering to be received with grace before the Lord. And if his oblation before the Lord be of birds, he shall bring his oblation from the turtle doves of the young of pigeons, but of the turtle doves he shall bring the largest, and of the pigeons the young ones. And the priest shall offer it upon the altar, and shall wring off its head, and burn upon the altar, and press out its blood at the side of the altar. And he shall remove its gullet and the contents thereof, and throw it by the eastern side of the altar in the place where they burn the cinders. Jerusalem. And the priest shall bring it to the side of the altar, and twist off its head, and lay it in order upon the altar, and press out its blood at the bottom of the altar. And he shall remove its ventricle with the dung, and throw it by, on the east of the altar at the place where the cinders are emptied. And he shall cut it between its wings, but not to sever the wings from it, and the priest shall burn it at the altar upon the wood which is on the fire. It is of sacrifice, an oblation to be received with favor before the Lord. Jerusalem. And he shall cut it through its wings, but not to dissever, and the priest shall lay it in order upon the altar on the wood that is upon the fire. 2. But when a man will offer the oblation of minkah before the Lord, his oblation shall be of flour, and he shall pour oil upon it, and put incense thereon, and bring it to the priests the sons of Aaron, and he shall take from thence his band full of the meal and of the best of the oil, with all the frankincense, and the priest shall burn the goodly memorial at the altar, an oblation to be accepted with grace before the Lord. And what remaineth of the mincha shall be Aaron's and his sons', most holy among the oblations of the Lord. And when thou wilt offer the oblation of a mincha of that which is baked in the oven, it shall be cakes of flour unleavened and mixed with oil, and wafers unleavened, which are anointed with oil. Jerusalem. And wafers unleavened. And if thy oblation of a mincha be from the pan, it shall be of flour mingled with oil, and leavened shall it be. He shall break it in pieces, and pour oil thereupon. It is a mincha. Jerusalem. And he shall break it in pieces, and pour oil thereon. And if thy oblation be a mincha from the gridiron, it shall be made of flour broiled with oil. And the mincha which bath been made with the flour and the oil thou shalt bring in before the Lord. And a man who bringeth it shall present it to the priest, and the priest shall take it to the altar. And the priest shall separate from the mincha a memorial of praise, and burn it at the altar, an oblation to be accepted with grace before the Lord. And what remaineth of the mincha shall be for Aaron and his sons, it is most holy among the oblations of the Lord. But no mincha which thou offerest to the Lord shalt thou make with leaven, for neither leaven nor honey mayest thou offer as an oblation before the Lord. When thou offerest an oblation of first fruits before the Lord, the bread of the first fruits thou mayest bring leavened, and the dates in the season of first fruits, and the fruit with its honey thou mayest bring, and the priest may eat them, but they shall not burn them at the altar as an oblation to be received with favor. And every oblation of thy mincha thou shalt salt with salt, thou shalt not withhold the salt of the covenant of thy God from thy mincha. Because the 24 gifts of the priests are appointed with a covenant of salt, therefore salt shalt thou offer with all thy oblations. And if thou wilt present a mincha of first fruits before the Lord, ears of wheat roasted by fire, roasted flour and meal of barley shalt thou offer as a mincha of thy first fruits. And thou shalt put olive oil upon it, and lay frankincense thereon, it is a mincha. And the priest shall burn its memorial of praise from the meal and from the best of the oil, with all the frankincense, an oblation before the Lord. 3. And if his oblation be of the sanctified victims, 3. If from thy cattle he offer, whether male or female, he shall offer it perfect. And he shall lay his right hand firmly on the head of his oblation. And the slayer shall kill it at the door of the tabernacle of ordinance, and the priests the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. And of the sanctified victim, his oblation before the Lord, he shall offer the covering of fat which covereth the inwards, even all the fat which is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat which is upon them, that is, upon the folding, and the caul that is upon the liver with the kidneys, he shall remove. And the sons of Aaron shall offer it on the altar with the sacrifice that is on the wood which is upon the fire, an oblation to be received with favor before the Lord. And if his oblation of a consecrated offering before the Lord be from the flock, whether male or female, his oblation shall be perfect. If he present a lamb for his oblation, he shall bring it before the Lord, and lay his right hand firmly on the head of his oblation. And the slayer shall kill it before the tabernacle of ordinance, and the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle its blood upon the altar round about. And of the offering of his consecrated oblation he shall offer the best of its fat, and remove the whole of the tail, close to the spine, the covering of fat which covereth the inwards, even all the fat that is upon the inwards. Jerusalem. And the fat and the entire breast to the chine he shall remove, and the fat which covereth the inwards, and the 2 kidneys and the fat which is upon them, upon the foldings, and the caul that is over the liver, together with the kidneys, he shall take away. And the priest shall sacrifice it at the altar, the meat of an oblation before the Lord. And if his oblation be from the young goats, he shall bring it before the Lord, and lay his right hand upon its head, and the slayer shall kill it before the tabernacle of ordinance, and the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle its blood upon the altar round about. And of his oblation before the Lord he shall offer the covering of fat which covereth the inwards, even all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat which is upon them, and on the foldings, and the caul which is over the liver, along with the kidneys, he shall take away. And the priest shall sacrifice them at the altar, the meat of an oblation to be received with favor. All the fat shall be offered before the Lord. It is an everlasting statute unto all your generations, that neither the fat nor the blood shall be eaten in any of your dwellings, but upon the back of the altar it shall be sacrificed unto the name of the Lord. IV. And the Lord spake with Moshe, saying, Speak with the sons of Israel, saying, When a man hath sinned inadvertently against any of the commandments of the Lord in doing what ought not to be done, and he hath done it against any one of them, if the high priest who was consecrated with oil hath sinned, as when he hath offered a sin offering for the people not according to the rite, he shall bring for his sin a young bullock unblemished before the Lord for a sin offering. He shall bring in the bullock to the gate of the tabernacle of ordinance, to the presence of the Lord, and lay his right hand upon the head of the bullock, and the slayer shall kill the bullock before the Lord. And the high priest who is anointed with oil shall take of the blood of the bullock, and carry it into the tabernacle of ordinance, and the priest shall dip his fingers in the blood, and sprinkle the blood 7 times in the presence of the Lord before the veil of the sanctuary, Jerusalem. And the priest shall dip his fingers, and sprinkle some of the blood 7 times. And the priest shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar of sweet incense that is before the Lord in the tabernacle of ordinance. And all the rest of the blood of the bullock he shall pour out at the foundation of the altar of burnt sacrifice which is at the gate of the tabernacle of ordinance. And all the fat of the bullock of the sin offering he shall separate from him, the covering of fat which covereth the inwards, even all the fat which is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat which is upon them, upon the folding, and the caul that is upon the liver, with the kidneys, he shall remove, as it was separated from the bullock of the consecrated sacrifice. So shall these things be separated from the lambs and from the goats, and the priest shall burn them upon the altar of burnt offering. And all the skin of the bullock, and his flesh with his head and with his legs, and his inward parts and his dung, the whole of the bullock he shall carry forth into a clean place without the camp, to a place where the cinders are poured out, and shall burn him with wood in the fire. At the place where cinders are poured out shall be burned. And if the whole congregation of Israel have erred, and the thing hath been hidden from the sight of the congregation in doing inadvertently against one of the commandments of the Lord what was not right to be done, and thus have sinned, and the sin which they have sinned be made known to them, the congregation shall offer a young bullock as a sin offering, and shall bring him before the tabernacle of ordinance. And 12 of the elders of the congregation, the counselors, appointed over the 12 tribes, shall lay the hands firmly upon the head of the bullock, and the slayer shall kill the bullock before the Lord. And the high priest shall carry some of the blood of the bullock into the tabernacle of ordinance. And the priest shall dip his finger into the blood, and sprinkle some thereof 7 times in the presence of the Lord before the veil, and he shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar that is before the Lord within the tabernacle of ordinance. And all the residue of the blood he shall pour out at the foundation of the altar of burnt offering which is at the door of the tabernacle of ordinance. And all the fat he shall separate from him, and burn at the altar. And he shall do with the bullock as he did with the bullock for the sin of the high priest, so shall he do with him. And the priest shall atone for them, and it shall be forgiven them. And the bullock shall be carried forth without the camp and be burned, as the former bullock of the high priest was burned, that through it the sin of Israel may be forgiven. It is a sin offering for the congregation. At what time the ruler of his people shall have sinned, and done against any of the commandments of the Lord his God, that which ought not to have been done, and he hath sinned through ignorance, if his sin that he hath sinned be made known to him, he shall bring for his oblation a kid of the goats, a male, unblemished, and he shall lay his right hand firmly upon the bead of the goat, and the slayer shall kill him at the place of the sacrifice of the burnt offering before the Lord. It is of sin offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering upon his finger, and put it on the horns of the altar of burnt sacrifice, and shall pour out the blood at the foundation of the altar of burnt sacrifice. And all the fat he shall burn at the altar, as was the fat of the sanctified oblations, and the priest shall atone for him on account of his sin, and it shall be forgiven him. And if a man of the people of the land sin through ignorance in doing against one of the commandments of the Lord what was not right to do, and he hath sinned, if his sin that he hath sinned be made known to him, he shall bring for his oblation an unblemished female of the goats for the sin that he hath sinned, and he shall lay his right hand on the head of the sin offering and kill the sin offering at the place of burnt sacrifice, and the priest shall take of the blood with his fingers and put it on the horns of the altar of burnt sacrifice, and pour out all the blood at the foundation of the altar. And he shall remove all her fat, is the fat of the consecrated sacrifices was taken off. And the priest shall burn it at the altar, to be received with acceptance before the Lord, and the priest shall atone for him, and he shall be forgiven. But if he bring a lamb as his offering for sin, he shall bring a female unblemished, and lay his right hand on the head of the sin offering, and kill it as an oblation for sin, at the place of burnt sacrifice. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt sacrifice, and pour out all the blood at the foundation of the altar. And all the fat he shall remove, is the fat of the lamb of the sanctified victims, was removed. And the priest shall burn it at the altar with the oblations of the Lord, and the priest shall make atonement for him on account of the sin that he hath sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. When a man shall have sinned, and heard the voice of the oath of execration, or have been himself a witness, or shall have seen the red hue of the world hath transgressed against the words of an oath, or shall have known that his companion hath sworn or imprecated vainly, if he show it not, he shall bear his sin. Or if a man touch anything unclean, whether the carcase of an unclean beast, or a carcase of unclean cattle, or the carcase of an unclean reptile, and it be hidden from him, and he, being unclean, shall touch any consecrated thing, he is guilty. Or if he touch the uncleanness of a man, even whatever uncleanness that defileth him, and it be hidden from him, and he touch anything consecrated, after that it is discovered by him, and he knoweth that he is defiled and not clean, he shall be guilty. Or if a man shall swear to make declaration with his lips to do evil a good Jerusalem, to do evil a good, upon any matter upon which a man may affirm, whether of the present or the future, that he can make declaration by oath, and he falsify therein, and it be hidden from him, but afterward it be discovered to him, and he know that he hath falsified, and he repent not, though he hath become guilty in any one of these. If he shall have thus sinned in any one of these four things, but afterwards repent, he shall make confession of the sin by which he hath sinned, and he shall bring the oblation of his trespass offering to the presence of the Lord for the sin that he hath sinned, a female lamb of the flock, or a kid of the goats, for a sin offering, and the priest shall atone for him, that he may be absolved from his sin. But if his hand find not sufficiency to bring a lamb, let him bring, as an offering for the trespass that he hath committed, 2 large turtle doves or 2 young pigeons before the Lord, 1 for a sin offering, and 1 for a burnt sacrifice. And he shall bring them to the priest, who shall offer that which he may choose for the sin offering first. And he shall wring its head near to the spine, but not separate its head from the neck, and he shall sprinkle some of the blood upon the side of the altar, and pour out the remainder of the blood at the foot of the altar. It is of sin offering. And of the second bird he shall make a burnt sacrifice, according to the rite with the bird which he bad chosen for the sin offering, and not according to the rite for the bullock, or the lamb, or the young goat. And the priest shall expiate him from the sin that he hath sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. But if his hand find not sufficiency to bring 2 large turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, let him bring as an oblation for sin a 10th part of 3 seahs of flour for a sin offering, but let him not put oil thereon nor frankincense, for it is a sin offering. And he shall bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take a handful for a commendable memorial thereof, and burn it at the altar with the oblations of the Lord. It is of sin offering. And the priest shall atone for his sin that he hath sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. And the remainder shall be a minkah to the priest. And the Lord spake with Moshe, saying, When a man falsifieth with falsity and sinneth, though with inadvertence, in making misuse of the holy things of the Lord, he shall bring the oblation for his trespass to the presence of the Lord, an unblemished ram from the flock, with an estimation in silver according to the value of the holy thing which hath been misappropriated in shekels, after the shekels of the sanctuary, for a trespass offering, and the misuse of the holy thing by which he sinned, the perversion of what was sanctified, he shall make good, and shall add the fifth of its value unto it, and bring it to the priest, who shall atone for him with the ram of the trespass offering, and it shall be forgiven him. If a man sin, and do against any one of all the commandments of the Lord that which is not right to do, though he knew it not, he hath sinned, and shall bear his guilt, but when he hath discovered it, let him bring a ram unblemished from the flock according to his estimation for a trespass offering unto the priest, and the priest shall atone for him for the ignorance with which he erred ignorantly, and sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. It is an oblation for trespass. Whosoever hath become guilty a trespass oblation, let him bring an oblation for trespass unto the name of the Lord for the sin that he hath sinned. And the Lord spake with Moshe, saying, When a man sinneth and falsifieth with falsehoods unto the name of the word of the Lord, or denieth to his neighbor the deposit which hath been deposited with him, whether in partnership of hands, or by rapine, or reckless dealing with his neighbor, Jerusalem, or shall be contumacious, or slanderous, with his neighbor, or if he find a thing that hath been lost and denieth it, and sweareth falsely about any one of all these, by which a male in doing them shall become guilty, he who shall thus transgress, and sin, and swear, shall restore what he hath robbed with robbery or injured by injury, or the deposit that was deposited with him, or the lost thing which he had found, or whatsoever about which he had sworn with falsehood. He shall make good in the capital, and shall add a fifth of its value thereto, and deliver it to its owner on the day that he maketh penance for his sin. And he shall bring an oblation for his trespass to the presence of the Lord, a male unblemished from the flock, according to its estimation for the trespass, shall he bring unto the priest, and the priest shall atone for him before the Lord. And it shall be forgiven him concerning any one of all these which he may have done and become guilty.